Check this.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's your good friend Lesley Salman right there. Can you see her? I know I'm not anybody's friend, but that's okay.
You're mine.
Yay!
You've got a friend in Jesus.
Hercules. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
With this one.
Uh-oh, your earbuds are falling out of your head. How are you doing?
Everything's falling out of there.
So Lesley,
doing good.
Lesley sends me a text this morning.
Oh.
Lesley sends me a text this morning. Today is the greatest day ever, and I'm like,
now he likes the Smashing Pumpkins.
I don't know.
Me neither, but I like that song.
I like the song.
I like the words.
Cool. I didn't like the word. I liked all the stuff in the video.
Wait, you didn't like the words? Today's the greatest?
Yes, of course. Every day is the greatest. Every day is the greatest day.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Each
all about
better than the last.
It's
getting better and better. Why is my okay? I'm struggling today.
You're struggling. No, you're not struggling. You're doing great. Yeah. So anyway, I thought, and so I was thinking to myself, first thought of my mind was, I wonder what's making it the greatest day. And then I said, I know, Lesley, this is just the greatest day because it's the greatest day. Well, every day is the greatest day.
Well, my 9-year-old gets irritated with my stuff. And I'll be like, Ryan, do you want to know how to have the greatest day ever? And he'll be like, how? I'm like, focus on great things all day.
Yeah. And
then he's like, Mom, you're so annoying. I'm like, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
It is. If you do, that's exactly right. It's all about your focus. It's about what's important to you. It's about what gets your blood boiling, and I mean good boiling. Something. To make some spaghetti.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
The passion and fire inside.
Exactly. and that's the difference. I mean, you focus, if you can figure out how to focus it, bring it to a point, you'll have wonderful success in just your everyday walking around life if you can do that. And it's really not hard.
Well, and one thing, some of these things sound ridiculous, but one thing I realized I wasn't doing, and my poor assistant sitting next to me she'll probably be jumping in like, thank God she realized this. I realized I wasn't looking for the positive in people. I just was like, that means if there's a bad situation, you're like, well, at least I don't have to work tonight. It rained and everything got canceled.
Right.
That's the positive. But I started realizing that you can look for it in so many other places than just turning a bad situation around.
Right.
It's about looking for that in people too.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, no, it's not just turning a bad situation. It's really turning your attitude around.
Yeah.
And it's making who doesn't want to have a good attitude every day? And you know what? That's a choice you need to make every day. What's your choice? Do you want to have a good attitude or bad attitude? Because guess what? Whatever you choose, you'll have. If you want to have a good attitude, then have a good attitude.
But you know what? At first I used to be like, that's fake. I'm not fake.
No.
But what it's so much, it's one of those things where it's a lot harder than it sounds at first to get it. But then once you get it, you're like,
you understand. Right. You know how to take on that attitude and how to see things. It's that old thing when someone says, "How you doing?" Say, "Well, it could be better, could be worse." And honestly, that's somehow along the line, that's one of the things that I've adopted is, people look at me, for instance, in the past, and they'll say, "Wow, Lee, you're going through so much. It must be terrible." I said, "Dude, I'm not going through half of what some people are going through. Not going through half." I remember sitting down at one of my checkups after I'd had my transplant, and that's why I'm wearing my Donate Life shirt, by the way, everybody. I'm wearing it because I'm going to be manning the booth, the virtual booth, on the WRC Health and Fitness Fair, and talking about donation. And so if you've not signed up to be a donor, you should. Some countries require it. It's mandatory. And I think that should be in this country too. You don't have any need for your body after you're dead. You have no need for any of those organs that might save lives. I just heard this the other day. A friend, her brother passed away. And she said, and she was very upset and sad about it. But she said, but we already have heard from the donation people that he saved 6 people's lives with his organs.
That's awesome,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you could do that, and if you knew that was something you could do, wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, it's not. They don't harvest. They don't do all that bull crap.
We would, but some people don't. I think some people just. There's a lot of things. I think
there's a lot of things, but
I feel like anytime you see things where you're like, why wouldn't someone want to do that? It has to do with maybe they don't understand the value of something else in the way they're looking at stuff.
Which is why, as an ambassador for Donate Life, they train all of us so that when we're talking to people about this kind of thing, we can overcome any objections. Almost every single religion, if they don't endorse donation, they leave it up to the person.
Right.
And there's some people, well, my religion doesn't. No, that's not true.
Right.
Here, I have the whole list of all the different religions, and from their religions, what is their take? And a lot of them are like, if they want to, like, for instance, just give you a couple of quick examples. The Muslim faith, that a lot of people in that faith think that they can't be organ donors, but you know what? Their faith precept is to support and help in their community, and that's a way to do it. That's one way to do it, is to provide and help other people. And that's what organ donation is. You're helping other people.
Right.
So.
Right.
I didn't mean to get off on this.
No, and I want to really quick say, I see my little Tora out there, my shining beacon of light.
Yes,
Hi,
he's
Tora.
Awesome. There he is.
Yeah, I love Tora. He's so supportive. I mean, he's just they're always there to give you an encouraging word.
Tora says Lesley should let Lee come on her show sometime.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm free. I can do that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. See, Tora has amazing ideas.
Tora is an idea man. So
yeah, I love it.
Unfortunately,
and
he doesn't always.
He just he wants to help.
I love Tora, and I will tell you, one of the problems is he's an idea man. That's one of the great things about him. It's also one of his issues. He doesn't think through all of his ideas all the time, and he's so positive that he's convinced that his idea will work. And it's you have to tone him back a little bit sometimes.
It's all about balance, and that's why you have other people that love you.
Exactly.
They tell you the truth, and
yeah,
in a nice, loving
Believe
way.
me, I've had many people tell me the truth. And it's
yes,
like, Lee, and it's like, okay, why? It's got to work. Anyway, yeah, and I'm sure you've probably run into that too. You're so energetic, and you probably have so many dynamic ideas, and I'm sure people have gone, well, what about this? Oh yeah,
and I'm like, quit focusing on the negative.
Yeah. But sometimes the negative is reality, you know. Yeah, it's exciting. So tell me, what are your plans this weekend, Miss Lesley Salman?
I'm probably gonna be getting away, heading out of town for overnight trip to a couple wineries out in like the Charlottesville area for
I'm gonna be at
day.
Wintergreen this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I'm always like, when we drive, because my relatives are up in Pennsylvania, so sometimes, you know, when we come down that way, I'm always like, I would love to stop by there. Have you been there before?
Many times. It's it seems like I've always had people that I know that have places at Wintergreen. And then of course, you know, they come and go out of your life and they sell their place or whatever. Those things happen. But I've had the pleasure and the honor of being able to go there on many occasions back from when I was a teenager, and I was in youth group, and one of our youth group leaders had a beautiful cabin at Wintergreen right on the side of the mountain. You could look at the ski slopes and everything. It was fantastic. And then my buddy's mother, it's just, I used to ski quite a bit. I'm a little bit, when I fall now, things get damaged. So, when you ski, I don't necessarily fall when when I used to ski, I didn't really fall very often because I could ski pretty well.
Right.
But I don't know. In this area, I learned to ski in Germany. And then I learned to ski in Colorado, and then I went to Germany. So both those places skiing were not the ice fest that we have on the East Coast. You know, anywhere around here, you got to have your own skis that are sharpened perfectly so that you can cut on the ice and everything. That's just not something. And when you hit ice, it's a lot different than falling into snow.
So I only skied twice. And it was in Illinois. So, and I fell and tore ligaments in my knee. So I figured, if I can't ski in Illinois where it's flat as a pancake.
I was about to say, I'm sitting there.
I think they literally built the one hill at the ski resort that I went to that I fell on. So that, like, if I couldn't handle a man-made hill, I just decided skiing probably.
No, you just need someone. You know what? You just need someone to show you how to do it. That's all.
I really. It was basically, I didn't have self-confidence to keep trying. Like, if I can pick. Just like anybody, you pick something up real easily and you love it. And if you're struggling at something, you're just like,
You know what I see? You know what, Lesley? I see you on a snowboard. I think you'd be Miss Cool. Get your baggy snowsuit on, and
Well, no, I always liked riding up the ski lift or the ski tow, but then I get to the top and be like, I don't know. And then didn't want to go down.
Listen, we went with the group to not too long ago long ago actually, to Blue Knob, and I can ski. I can ski a black diamond on snow. I don't know about ice. Ice is horrible. But we went down the thing, and it was just it wasn't black diamond, but it was a slope that was advanced. And I looked down the hill, and I could see the gleam of the ice. And I said, "Well," took the skis off and walked down through the woods.
I actually have done that before.
I was like, I am not even attempting to ski. I had rental skis, so the edges are not sharp. There's not good for grabbing into the ice. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I could snowplow my ass all the way down. Excuse my French. All the way down the mountain.
Before you start again, and I'll yell beep right when you say it.
But I was like, no way. I mean, I just rather walk. Thank you very much. And I actually skied in because it was fluffier snow in the woods, and I just took it nice and easy, tree to tree, and really easy. And I mean, at first I started walking, then I realized, I can ski in this. This is enough that I don't have to, I can just slide a little bit down through the woods. And I got yelled at by one of the ski patrol people, and I'm like going, dude, I'm not going out on that ice.
Right.
And he said, well, you have to walk. So I had to take the skis back off anyway, but whatever. So we decided to stay on the old bunny slope the rest of the day, playing around with the bunny slope, and we had a good day. We had a good day. Good time.
Well, you're going to have an amazing time this weekend. I'm jelly.
Yeah, I'm not skiing this weekend. We're just going to be there for It's my sister's birthday is the 21st.
Oh, that's a fun way to celebrate.
Yeah, Sunday. So yeah, she's the one. She's the rich one in the family. So she's rented. So it's a VRBO or whatever, the Verbo place. It's like
Airbnb.
Yeah, it's like Airbnb, but it's VRBO or something like
more?
that. Yeah, there's something new
every day.
Yeah, exactly. So she found this one, and it's like a huge place. Huge. Everyone's going to have their own room if they want it. I mean, I haven't told my wife that I want my own room. No, I'm kidding. No, everyone. But it's got lots of rooms, lots of bathrooms. We're set.
You might be happy about spoiled.
That. Yeah, I'm saying I wouldn't doubt it, but no. Yeah, she could spread out. Just take up the whole bed.
She'd be like, "Oh, thank God, Lou's not snoring all night." No,
actually, exactly. Well, no, I don't. I would snore, but I don't snore. She snores all night. It's crazy. She rolls, and it's really funny because she's fine on her sides when she's sleeping. Normally, when she goes to bed, but she rolls on her back. Good night. I mean, it's like, honey, roll over on your side.
Fall asleep before she does.
No, she's gonna wake me right up, and I had to just poke her and say, "Babe, get on your side." Oh, sorry. And she rolls over on her side and stops snoring. But it sounds. I mean, I've taped it before for her. Listen, you got to hear this.
And she's probably
it's just. She's like, really? No one. She goes, no wonder my mouth gets so dry. And I'm like going, yeah, because you're going.
Well, if you were a good husband, you could just mist a spray bottle in there.
That's a great idea. I don't know how much she'd like that, but yeah, it's a great idea. I'll just stay up all night making sure that she stays hydrated.
Like feeding her grapes.
Yeah.
And feeding her.
Yeah. Is that really what is required of a good husband? That's a man. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good time.
Cool.
So that's good. I'm glad you're going to go have a good time. Don't have too much wine. You get yourself find it. Yeah, right.
No, I won't.
No, I'm kidding. Well, that's what's nice about going Gainesville. You get to go around to the different wineries and you get to meet the owner and talk about what they're doing, and you get to imbibe slightly, and have a pleasant evening. Don't you do that? Because aren't there several wineries out in Gainesville area?
Oh yeah, there's a really awesome brand new one that's called Winery at Sunshine Ridge Farm, and it's on the water on Lake Manassas.
Nice.
So it's like a beautiful venue. The whole building's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm more about going to enjoy the venue than I like to try wines, but I probably will only have maybe 1 to 2 glasses tops. If I'm I'd be there for 4 hours, I would have 2 glasses of wine. I just don't really like the feeling of being
out of control,
intoxicated. Yeah, because I'm a control freak.
Same here. That's exactly me. I don't like being intoxicated. I've been a couple times in my life, and both times.
Oh, I've been many times. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, no, I really haven't. My wife, when we first met, we would go out. I'd get my big cup of iced tea, and I was the designated driver, and she'd have a ball, and we'd have a ball, and that was how we operated. And now we've gotten older. We don't do that nearly as much as we used to, but I've never been the drinker. I just never. I'll
tell you, I have, and I think the reason being though is I was always so wound up because I always had to be in control. So that made me feel like I could loosen up and be the way I want to be. I think that was the ultimate reason. But now that I'm that way naturally,
yep.
Then
you realize you don't need anything, right?
It doesn't enhance my life. But you know what? I look back on those things and I'm like, you know what? I don't necessarily see alcohol as bad, because if you don't know what it's like to be in that state, at least it shows you what that state is like. and then you can replicate. It depends on your intention. You know, if you're like, oh, I'm going to solve my problems by this. But if you start realizing what do I enjoy about it?
Not solve. I think there's people who do that to escape their problems.
Well, yeah.
And you can never escape.
Filling a void inside. Trying to fill a void inside with it.
A million different reasons, right?
Yeah, but I've looked back and I've gone, you know what? I can't even, none of my choices, even if like I don't regret them, because I did. If you learned anything from what you did, it was worth it.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And I don't know where, I think I think the reason why, and I know that this doesn't always apply, but I didn't grow up in a household that had very much drinking.
Me neither.
And so like the max was my dad would make, and he drank as a young person, he and his boys, they used to go out. They lived when he was a senior in high school. They lived in Baltimore, and they would come down to DC because in those days it was 21 in Maryland, and in DC up until when I was a teenager it was 18. So to buy beer.
Yeah, I remember that too. When I was growing up, I grew up in like the Dale City area, and it was I think it was like 18 for wine and beer.
Wine and beer.
But 21 for hard liquor or something like that.
Yeah,
but that was when I was like
liquor,
4 or 5, and then I moved away.
I'm going to date myself. So the year I turned 18 in February, that year, 1984, going to start doing your math, people. That year on July 4th, they changed the law to 21, but they grandfathered everybody who was 18 before that date.
You were so lucky.
Yeah, but I wasn't a drinker. You know what I mean? I didn't drink. Some of my friends had me buy beer for them, and I did, But I never really, I'd like milk one beer. I never was a big beer
I got to
fan.
tell you a funny story. So I grew up in a house too, like you, where there wasn't much drinking, but of course that didn't influence me not to drink. That influenced me to be like, oh, there's, I thought my parents were so like, oh, why? I didn't really. I thought I was like, why did? Well, they were actually, as I got older, they never ever drank. Like maybe when I was like 10 or 11, they completely never drank. But before, and my dad never did, but my mom used to keep reuniting wine in the house every once in a while. And here's a funny story that she learned later on. We were talking, and my mom, this is as an adult, and my mom goes, I was always really worried that I could turn into an alcoholic. She's like, because I had she had like my grandfather drank and things like that. So she was always conscientious of drinking too much. And she goes, I remember I used to buy this reunited wine, and after a while it would be gone so fast. And I go, that's because I used to sneak in the cupboard and drink it too. And I was like 10.
Oh my God.
I think it was just, I used to remember liking the taste of
wine.
It. I would drink it. I didn't get wasted or anything. I just remember I'd go in there every once in a while and take a couple of drinks, and hear my poor mom's thinking she's turning into an alcoholic. Meanwhile,
that's funny.
Meanwhile, it was me.
Really, it's kind of like grape juice. I mean, it's almost a little bit like I remember, and I'm a sweet beverage drinker. I mean, I like beverages that have some, that are tasty. I don't like whiskey straight. I don't like, I don't like bourbon straight. I mean, I'll drink it because it's cool, but I really don't like it. I don't like, and I'm not a big beer fan. Coors Light's my beer. You know what I mean? If I have beer. So that tells you, because that's pretty much water. And so when I'm drinking, that's if I drink, that's what it is. But I've gotten past the point where I'd say to myself, I don't like drinking, so I don't. Yeah. It's like, not because I don't put that against anybody else. Yeah, I just don't like the taste. I don't like the taste. I mean,
it's not doing anything to make your life any better.
I like vodka tonics with extra lime. I like them. Right. And I'll drink those. But the problem is with me, I'm a drink like water. I'm a fish. So if it's alcohol and someone's giving me free, that's the other thing too. The cost is not even, I can't even justify how much it costs for a rail drink I mean, $8. I'm like, please,
I can buy a whole bottle for this.
I can buy an iced tea that you have to refill all night long for $1.50. You know, and I'm a fish, so I like to drink, and so therefore I'm just going to get iced tea, and we're going to be good, or Diet Coke or whatever. But yeah, no, vodka tonics, and I remember at one time I went through a stage of whiskey sours, and I really liked whiskey sours for a while. When I would go out with my girlfriends or something like that, that's what I would order and that's what I would get. And I enjoyed them and I drank them like a fish, you know, and I never really get drunk. I'm a big dude. And so I'm happy about that. I never really got, I got inebriated, but I never really got drunk.
Right.
But so that's, you know, I don't have a real drinking. I don't have an acumen for drinking. I don't, you know, never been a big drinker. I love going out to wineries though. And I do like tasting.
Yeah.
I like for instance, same with breweries. I like to go and taste, like get the, you know, the rail of all the different beers that they offer. I like the flights, exactly. I like to get the flights and I like to try out the different beers. And sometimes I come across one that I go, ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I like a good Weiss beer from Deutschland when I used to live in Germany.
Yeah, if I'm gonna pick one, it's gonna be a wheat beer, like a wheat beer, or maybe like a Belgian ale or something like that.
Yes, exactly. That's what I enjoy. If I can say I enjoy it, I mean,
well, I'll tell you. Actually, my favorite beer is Guinness.
Never had a Guinness. I've always thought, no way, that's too dark. It's going to be too bitter.
It looks like that, but it's not. It's actually not bitter at all, and it's got lactose in it. So I'm like, it tastes like a beer milkshake.
Well, I know when I was working for Mr. Gaddy's back in the day, we had Lowenbrow Dark on tap, and I liked that. It was nutty. It was a nice nutty taste to it. And I really enjoyed it. So that was the only time I ever was a beer fan, was Lowenbrow Dark. And I don't know where the hell I can find that. I'm going to have a Guinness one of these days and just bite the bullet and have it. I just have always thought I'm going to hate it. And I don't want to pay for it.
I did too before I had ever had it. And then, I don't know, when I started like trying more different, like in my expanding my palate from doing going Gainesville. And I started like being like, oh, some of these other like craft beers are kind of interesting. Like they're interesting to try. I was like, let me try a Guinness. And I was like, wow, these are actually really good.
Well, we're getting too close to, you said you had a hard 10:30 stop time. Yeah. So we're getting close to 10:30. We got 2 minutes. It's huge amounts of minutes.
2 minutes to impart
wisdom and happiness. And
hey, I'll tell you one of my things that I've worked on this week, and I put a post up about it. But word choices.
Absolutely.
And back to the power of the word. But I started changing the way I substituting out. There's about 20 words that I started substituting with other words, and I'm like, I can create a win-win in any scenario doing this. It's so powerful.
Fling, flam, flu, flay, float, flay,
just changing the word good to healthy, bad to unhealthy. You tell somebody, I don't know if you know this or not, but blah, blah, blah. Well, now you're implying that they might not know something, which is judgment.
Yes.
So if you say, I just wanted to bring this to your attention, or wasn't sure if you were aware of this or not.
All right.
Totally different reaction. Different. So
I know you don't know this.
Yeah.
I know that you're not aware of this, but you know.
Well, if you say, if you just stupid? Say it in terms of, it's not that they it's not that they're not capable.
No. Right.
It's just that they're not aware of something. And you're just, if you just say it in that sense, totally different outcome.
Absolutely. You know, we've talked about this before, or at least I have on other shows and stuff like this, because words are really huge for me. Zig Ziglar, one of his things. He said words are, because he said he went into a prison, and I'm sure some people haven't heard this. He went into a prison, had the opportunity to sit down with a huge part of the population one-on-one and talk to these guys, because he wanted to find out different things about different kinds of people, that kind of thing. And he said to a man that he talked to, each one of them said that they can distinctly remember a point in their life where someone said, you're going to end up in prison.
I don't doubt that at all. And they believed it.
Think about that. That's just overwhelming to me, that every single person that he talked to can remember someone saying to them, you're going to end up in jail, boy, or you're going to end up in prison. Every one of them, even from when they were 4 or 5 years old, remember people saying that when they're sitting, look at him, he's in his crib, he's going to be in prison one day, that kind of stuff. And sure enough, that's where they ended up. And my parting word for you and everybody today is, remember one thing. This is a biblical precept. The words that come out of our mouths are the overflowing of our hearts. Okay? So if we find ourselves,
brother,
if we find ourselves saying something that's not positive, that's not good for other people or ourselves, we have to remember that that's what's our hearts filled with at the time, and you can change that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's our parting. You have a parting word, Lesley? Word
to your mother.
Word to your mother. No. Word to your dad. All right. Well, thank you, Lesley, as always.
My parting words are I love you all. I hope everybody has a happiness. Right. Wish them happiness and joy.
Absolutely. Joy down in our hearts. Hey, listen, thank you, Lesley. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Enjoy your weekend. I look forward every Friday to you.
Me too.
You gotta come in the studio and do the show with me.
I will. 100%.
I mean, I'd love to see you. I'd love to come on your show too. So
let's do it.
We'll meet together and we'll go to a winery together.
Okay.
and do a show and sit around and do a show from a winery.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In fact, if we do a show and everything and we promote them, maybe we'll get a free bottle or two.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because that's all we need.
That's all we need. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. Thank you, Lesley.
Right,
be good. Take care of yourself. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.